headstand. So headstand sometimes is known as the king of all asanas. It's a very powerful inversion. You're balancing on your head using the strength of your hands and your back to hold you in place. It's fun because it inverts your worldview, literally, you're upside down. So you get a different perspective on things, but also being upside down is good for the body. It stretches out the limb, it gets circulation moving, it's a release for the legs. But even though this is a powerful pose, it's not without some risk. So if you have any neck issues, shoulder issues, back issues, high or low blood pressure, or any issues with the eyes, this will be one that you'll want to modify just a little bit, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So coming into this pose, we'll start in downward facing dog. And Mary is going to be our demonstrator. Okay, so from here, let's take the knees to the mat. And you're going to want to build a base with your hands. So oftentimes I like to take hands to the inside of the elbows. And that way you have your elbow shoulder distance. You want to keep a nice strong base, stacking the joints. And then go ahead and extend the arms out and make a basket with your hands. And so you want to have a nice strong seal. Thumbs stacked on top of each other. And essentially this is where your head is going to go. So from here, you press down from the wrist all the way to the elbows and then your shoulder blades down your back. So your upper back is nice and strong. Top of the head is going to come to this little basket you made for your hands. And then let's curl the toes and lift up. So back to your downward facing dog. So this is stage one. And again, if you have any sort of contraindication, this would be a great place to be and to practice headstand this month. Really strong wrist to the elbow, back engages. Key point here. So then from here, if you want to take it to the next stage, sort of toe walk your feet in. So just sort of bring your toes in. So you get the hips working to be over the shoulders. This is where you're really going to engage through the upper back. And your feet, once they get close enough, the toes sort of inch up just enough, you'll feel the spot where your belly engages. And when you find that spot, draw your low belly into your spine, deeply engage, and bring your knees in towards your chest. You can play with just one or both. And then once you feel stable, nice and slow, you can float your legs to the ceiling. Ideally in this shape, you're in Tadasana on your head. So bringing one long line from the heel to the knee, to the hip, to the shoulder. So beautiful. So you can see here her toes are active, toes spread wide, inner thighs engaged. So really draw in through the inner thigh and the low belly. Belly is going to stay nice and strong. Lower ribs engaged. And ideally you're putting enough weight in the forearms, pressing down so you're not pressing into your cervical spine. They're very, very vulnerable, so you don't want to injure them. From here, to come out, we're going to bend the knees once again. And use your belly for grace to hug the thighs in and then release toes to the floor. And we'll take it to child's pose as our counter pose. So that was great, Mary. Nice work. So Sirsasana, very just a graceful, lovely pose. Lots of strength, lots of core engagement. Again, fabulous way to sort of turn your world upside down in a good way and build core and upper body strength. Any one of the stages that you just saw, you can play with. You can stay in the prep here, just sort of bringing that down dog variation, the forearms on the mat, and the head on the ground. And one way you can find a spot where you put your head on the ground, if you put your thumbs in your ears, and then ideally the place where your fingers touch, either my head's too big or my fingers are too small. This doesn't work. Let's see if this works for you. Yeah, so right about that spot, right in the middle of the head is where you're going to want to put your head down. And so you could just play with the prep here, and that can be your pose. But if you want to play with just lifting one toe, maybe both, maybe hugging in and floating into the full pose, feel free to play around. Variations, you can Hike the legs for a little bit more heat, a little bit more core engagement. You can take the legs into eagle pose or Asana. So lots of fun things you can do. But definitely rest in child's pose for a few breaths. And then usually we have Sirsasana as the reward at the end. So Sirsasana, Asana of the month for April.